I get the transition from Where Thoughts Go to YouTube. I
Do
think
you though?
well, I'm assuming I'll make an assumption that development is of this game is evergreen. You're always going to be working on it slightly. You never can just let off the gas, but you've got to go to other avenues. I mean, that's just natural. But the one thing that I'm confused about the YouTube one is this TV show endeavor that you got going on, because it seems like YouTube would be your bread and butter. But I'm curious your thought process on going and trying to be on TV.
Right. So, for those who don't know it, I have a YouTube channel called Lucas Builds the Future, and
Subscribe.
after Where Thoughts Go, yes, subscribe. It's actually really good. And when I left Where Thoughts Go, I realized that it's like, when you're making games, like VR games, any type of game really, but VR games in my case, is you usually spend like 2 years developing something, maybe 3 years developing something, and then you cross your fingers and release it and hope that it does well so you can make another. And VR and AR are such new things with so many fucking things you can do that I almost think it's unproductive to spend 3 years in one idea just because of the sheer amount of things you can do. So instead, I was like, okay, what if instead of doing a project in 3 years, I do a project every 3 months, right? And I try to use virtual and augmented reality to truly explore the shit you can do. And try to tell a really good story with it. And that's how the channel was born. I built a VR time machine, which you can find on the channel. It's my most viewed video, in which I spent an entire year wearing camera glasses on my face and recording my memories every single day. And then built a VR time machine that lets me go back and re-experience moments from my past. So it's actually literally the closest thing to a real life time machine we've ever had. And so I do lots of projects like that I think are interesting, and I can do in like 3 months. But the TV show, is interesting because I'm putting this up on YouTube really as I've always wanted to go to film school, but I never had the money or means to go to film school. So I've been treating my YouTube channel as my film school, as the place where I get to learn how to tell these larger stories. And if you watch my videos, you notice that they are very cinematic and very well produced.
Extreme, guys, he's understating. He's being very humble. I do not, and I'm not blowing smoke up his ass here. If you want cinematic, really good virtual reality and augmented reality content, there's not much better, guys. You always say that where's the content? Boom! It's right here. I'm gonna flip to his screen. Go follow that shit.
Yeah, but thank you. I really appreciate it. And I think everybody here will love it too. But it's there are certain cinematic ambitions I want to reach with this, and really, it's the projects, be it VR, AR, or right now I'm going to go into AI and bring computer interfaces and all kinds of shit. The project is just an excuse for us to create something that changes your perspective on the world, and it's really an excuse for us to explore different aspects of humanity. So when I built the VR time machine, the video isn't just about building the time machine. It's like, what happens to you once you have access to something like that? How do you look at your past now that you can access it? How does that change the way you look at your own memories? How does that change the way you look at your future? And I think that is really cool, and that is really transformative. And if you can create projects that result in these stories that end on these deeper revelations about who we are, and you can use the projects as an avenue to unlock perspective, and I think that's a really cool way to do cool things and to educate people and to explore ethics of technology, and to do stuff that's really funny as well, because that's a big part of it. It's supposed to also be really fun. And yeah, YouTube kind of it's not very receptive to the kind of stuff that I make. Sorry, I don't want to talk too long. So
no, do your thing. But I want you
do
to
want to
go
work
on
with
this.
the crew. I do want to work with. I do want to make this more cinematic. The YouTube right now is a concession that I'm making. Of course, I will never not do it. And I think it's important for any creative is that you're like, it doesn't matter if you don't have the perfect situation, if you don't have enough money or the right people. It's important that you're always making stuff. So it's if you wait for the perfect moment, 10 years are going to go by and you're going to have done nothing. So I'm posting stuff on YouTube, but I also yeah, I think it could be doing better somewhere else. Hence, I started to pitch it around as a TV show, talking to Netflix and the likes. And it might work. It might not. I don't
I
know.
want to hear
We'll
about
see.
this though. I hear that we'll see. You are the most humble, optimistic man out there. But for real, like, what's Lucas's goal to be on Netflix? Are you building awareness? Are you trying to bring them to your platform? Are you just trying to make dope content? I mean, if Lucas could say right now, here's the future I want to build, what is it?
I don't know, man. That's part of the reason I'm making the show. Because right now all my projects were in virtual and augmented reality, but the project that I'm working on right now is going to be my first AI related project, and really, and then I'm going to go into brain computer interfaces, and then VR, and then some other shit. But I'm also trying to use these projects as a way to understand every single major pillar of emerging technology by making stuff. And then maybe in 3 years, once I have made projects with literally every single major emerging technology that exists, I will know what kind of future I want to build. Right now, the only thing I know is like what values I want those that future to respect. And um, yeah, it's cheesy, but it has to be a future that cares about people, that products that I think are concerned with consistent growth of the users. The people who use them are always growing and evolving, and that is one of the key metrics of success. I think that's a really important aspect I don't see people talking about, which is probably not very good. They usually.
I mean, do you think
It's
that's
such a big question, man. It's such a big
well, I
question.
like the last part. I feel like everything right now, we've almost gamified our lives. Like everything we do, whether it's YouTube, Twitter, all these, it's a game. We've gamified the stats. Here's my follower stats. Here's my engagement stats. We've gamified everything, but it sounds like if we're going to build the future off empathy and giving the end user access, I mean, that's more empowering than just this gamification of life. I mean, I feel like I'm winning. I feel like I'm winning the game right now, but I'm sick of playing the game. We're here to live, not play a game.
Yeah,
That
it's
gets a
it's.
little too deep.
I wouldn't even say it's gamification. It's literally like the I guess your social net worth, right? If if you have a certain number of followers, you're worth more than other beings, and the platforms are it is currency. In the end, it is currency in a weird way.
I
Um,
actually tried to get
and
verified on Twitter today, and I exited it because it is. I completely agree with you. It felt like I was trying to value my worth, and I'm like, I need to find 5 news publications in the past 6 months that value me. No, no, it's not going to happen.
Eric, for you to get verified on Twitter, you need people to impersonate you. If people are impersonating you and you report them, then you can get verified.
I
That's
heard
the
about
trick.
that. Paying people on Fiverr to
Yeah.
impersonate me. I heard about this.
Also, Dabble, do ya 75? Don't be like that. Like, be more optimistic, man. Like humanity, there's lots of problems. Where we live in the most prosperous time in human history, by far historically. We've never been as educated, never been as healthy. We've never had this amount of wars. Like it's a historical low. So the present is it looks bad if you look at the wrong places, but if you look at the data, we live in the most prosperous times in human history, and it's important to appreciate those things because it's easy to forget.
You made a time machine. Personally, if I had a time machine, I'd love to relive visually some of those events, but I would never want to go back in time because there's no better time than the present. And it's cheesy as fuck, but I believe that fully. And I'm glad you dabble do you. If you look what's the loudest voices are not always representative of what is actually going on. The loudest voices are out there for a reason. We're gamifying ourselves, finding our social worth, and getting our base. But it doesn't mean that's the reality. But I like what Lucas is doing because that virtual reality, you could build anything you want. You literally could build anything you want, reset the status quo. It's just who's going to do it. Lucas, I do believe in you, man. I really do. Hit that subscribe button to stay on top of the daily clips or catch the debates and fireside chats live on the main channel down in the video description. See you next time, Space Cowboys.